So more and more people just coming in, so that's fine. We'll just keep chatting for a minute or two. And so we've got to keep track of the days. Wednesday today, middle of the week. So I think we started on a Wednesday last week and we did a bit of work as I'm kind of just narrating what I do normally. On a Wednesday, I like to do a bit of work, which is just about reminding myself that although I've been dealing with and carrying a lot of things throughout the first part of the week, there's still space, there's still strength, there's still capability to deal with whatever the rest of the week brings as well. So do a bit more work on that today. I like to do a bit more work in the body on a Wednesday, just doing a bit of work with the body scan, noticing, relaxing, tensing, relaxing, just noticing the contrast and the capacity that we do still have. So do a little bit of that today, and we can also do a bit of the version of that, but in the mind, just to show ourselves again that yes, we do have the ability to focus. There might be lots of things whirring around in the mind, of course. But in the same way, if we dust off and sort of declutter the things that don't matter, we can see that, okay, we still do have the capacity, the potential to deal with things that are coming up for the rest of this day and the rest of the week. Katrina, thanks. Yeah, it's nice to have this space, this time, this protected time, just to come together and to do this. So it's great. Thank you for joining in with us. So it's going to come up to 5 past in a moment. So we'll make a start with meditation. And if anybody joins us, as they do, actually, I've noticed as I've been going through, people dip in and out, even if we've already started, and they stay with us. So people are happy to join in and pick up when they can. And if you're listening to the recording of this, welcome to you as well. Please feel that you can sort of contact me if you want to ask any questions or need any further direction or support. But great to have those people with us who are live today. And we've got another chance to take 15 minutes out of the day to try to find some mindful, present-centered awareness and to ground ourselves in the here and now. And of course, that's really what mindfulness is about. What we do with that state then looks very different for each of us. But we'll do a bit of work on bringing a positive change today, just noticing and accepting, being aware of our own potential and capacity. So as always, if you want to find yourself a nice space, a relaxed area, wherever you are right now, closing the eyes if you'd like to, keeping them open. It's a different experience, but it's interesting to keep them open if you want to, or of course opening the eyes at any time if you feel you're drifting away or you just want to snap back and connect back with now. But as we always say, that very first step is about connecting with now, whatever that may be. We're not looking particularly for good things, for bad things. We're just looking for anything that's going on. And I have this phrase that's called noticing in neutral. So we're not looking to judge whatever we're aware of. It's just noticing, just a very neutral stance, as if we're firmly rooted. And the wind that we're noticing doesn't move us too much. So just notice what's going on around you right now. And we've been using sound, particularly with the eyes closed. And you might pick up some things from the microphone. I've got some birds tweeting around me at the moment, but we've also got a bit of work being done by the neighbours in the gardens there. So you might just pick up some things from the microphone too. That's fine. Remember, this is all just background life, if you like. We can use it to bring the mind back to when we want to, just as an anchor point. But it can carry on. It comes and goes and changes. And actually, the acceptance of that is an important part of mindfulness. But from outside of ourselves, we want to move inside of ourselves, of course. So we're noticing body temperature as a halfway point. So let's notice somewhere that's cooler in the body right now. For me, it's my hands. And somewhere that's warmer too. For me, it's my feet. But again, we're wanting to notice in neutral. It's okay to experience this, whatever it is. And rather than responding to what it is with commentary, with analysis, with judgments, we want to just notice what's called the bare sensations. So what does being cool in the hands actually feel like, without words? However, you're cool in your body. For me, what does warmth in the feet feel like without commentary? And you can do it with whatever part of the body is warm for you. We don't want to struggle against any experiences. We want to accept them, whatever they are, as the very first step of moving beyond them, of course, of bringing a positive change. But to create the mindful state, we want to accept the reality of now. So let's keep going with that, then bringing the mind fully inside of ourselves now, embodying the moment, using the natural breath rhythm as we do. Again, to notice it in neutral. We can notice the depth of it, the pace of it, and the way it's moving the body right now. So we're trying to embody our natural rhythm of being right now, trying to get the mind out of the equation. We're noticing how we actually are rather than how the mind thinks we are or expects us to be. That's an important part of the process. But as we're going to do a little bit of work in the body, noticing its potential and in the mind too, let's just control this breath a little bit more to give us that anchor point and that link back to the here and now moment should the mind wander. So if you've been with me before, we've got the mindful breath rhythm to find, please. And if you're new at all, the mindful breath rhythm is simply a deeper, more rhythmical breath than your natural one. It's a breath we have to pay attention to. And therefore, there's less room for the mind to wander and to worry. But we're bringing a change to our experience by using the breath. And it's this breath, this rhythm that we create that's associated with many of the biological and psychological benefits of mindfulness. So the more we can keep this rhythm today in this practice, and the more we can find this rhythm out there in everyday life, the more we'll be growing those benefits for us. So let's try to settle into this new rhythm of being with the breath, using it as a grounding breath for us. We can treat each new breath as a new moment to pay attention to. We can contrast this with the natural breath that we noticed. Here we can check any sound that comes with the bigger breath. We can notice how this breath feels for us right now. We can notice the movement of the body with the bigger breath. This new rhythm, this assertive rhythm, this grounded rhythm, this present rhythm. And whilst we're keeping the awareness turned up high, we can slow the mind, body, and emotions down to this state of restful alertness. And we can let go of the things we don't need right now or for the next 10 minutes. Judgments, agendas, commentary, to-do lists. Let's park all of that. Hey, it'll still be there for us later on if it's important. Instead, let's try to grow a sense of acceptance of ourselves, of our situation, our surroundings, and of each other too. Building compassion, building that awareness, and that gentle curiosity, which simply means we're interested in our own experience, but not the outcome of it. Just gently, we're interested in how the experience is. And in doing that, of course, the awareness of the experience grows. We might notice things that we didn't notice before. But in growing the experience, the awareness, it puts us in a better position then to make a positive change if we need to. And so we'll do that with the body. We'll do a bit of a body scan like we did last week if you was with us. We're going to notice the body. We're going to try to relax it. We're also going to try to feel the capacity we have. So we're going to start with the feet. We'll end up at the forehead. Then we'll do a little bit of work with thoughts too, trying to calm those down and see the potential we have there. But can we just be aware of our feet, please? Maybe wiggle the toes if you need to, shuffle the feet. We're keeping the big in and out breaths. Remember, the in-breath is always the notice breath in whatever you do. The out-breath is always the release breath. So for the first breath, let's just notice the feet, maybe textures of different things we can feel, maybe temperature, contact points. And then with the out-breath, let's try to relax. So we're letting go of any tension that was there already. And do that for a couple of breaths. And then you can either continue to do that, or if you want to feel the capacity you have, you can use an in-breath just to tense your feet. So you can see that contrast between relaxed and tense. And then with the out-breath, you let go of that. And again, it brings to our awareness the capacity we do have, the strength we have. And we can move around the rest of the body in the same manner too. So just coming up to the legs, so upper and lower together here. And again, on the first breath, just notice any natural tension that's there. Try to let it go. Then you can continue with that, or you can try to tense the muscles in your leg, relaxing them then on the out breath, and being aware of that capacity. Next, we can bring the awareness up to the core of the body. Again, let's just notice here first and release anything that's just stored up there from the day. You can keep working on that if you want to, or you can move into then tensing the core, releasing it and noticing that capacity. And next we can do the same with the shoulders and the arms, just noticing to begin with, particularly the shoulders as a barometer of our tension levels. And let's try to drop anything that we're carrying that we don't need there. Relaxing down the arms as well, and even the hands and fingers, letting go of anything we might still be gripping hold of. And then just as before, you can continue to release, just notice and release, or you can tense and then release too. And then can we bring the awareness up to the back of the neck, please? You can't really tense here, so let's spend a couple of breaths just noticing things you can feel at the back of your neck. Maybe clothing, maybe temperature, maybe your hair if you've got long hair. Let's really focus on using the out breath to release any tension that may have stored up in the back of the neck already today. And coming up to the face as well and the forehead, just trying to relax the facial muscles, releasing any tension from there, and particularly letting go of any frowning or grimacing we might be doing. And then for the final few minutes of the session today, we can use exactly the same rhythm, but just working a little bit more with our thoughts. So as you're taking an in-breath, you can just notice what thoughts are coming to mind. It might be none. It might be some random abstract thoughts that you can't really pin down. It might be some very explicit dominant thoughts. But again, remember the in-breath is the noticing breath. Notice, accept it. And use an out-breath to try to clear it. And if you want to as well, what you can do at any random breath you choose is take the in-breath. We can't tense the mind, but what we can do is focus it. So going back out of the body again, just noticing again something that's going on around you right now. Then with the out-breath, let that go. Try to breathe it away. And again, just be aware of the capacity between focus and no focus. That's what we want. That gives us confidence that we can tackle anything that comes up in the days ahead. So a few minutes just taking your mindfulness where you want it to go now. Here's a couple of things to remember as we do this. One, try not to push away any experience or thought. Try to accept anything that comes. And two, try not to change the experience itself. So the in-breath is whatever the in-breath is. We're not trying to change that. The out-breath is to change our response to it. So accepting whatever we find, and then trying to either let it go, to notice, to bring ourselves to neutral. And also remember, if the mind wanders away, just bring it back to the breath, back to this practice of watching that we're doing at the moment. Going forward, to use this technique out there in everyday life, what we're really doing here is noticing what the mind gets full of all by itself. Once we're aware of that, and we have the confidence that we can create some capacity, we can declutter better, we can let go of the things we don't need to be in the mind, so there's more space and capacity to deal with the things that do need to be on the mind. And this is why mindfulness is good for focus and concentration and problem solving and creativity. So decluttering allows that extra space in the body too. Getting rid of the tension that might be there allows us some more resilience, strength and capacity to deal with the things which actually are right here, right now. And then the next thing to do, of course, is just to notice what this has been like for us today. Again, not in judgment, not in outcome, but in experience. Accepting whatever it's been, because that's the first step of mindfulness. And then it's back to the breath. Maybe you kept the big, deeper rhythm. Maybe it went back to its natural rhythm. Wherever you find it now, we can accept it again. And just return to a deeper rhythm, because of course we use this to come out of the mindful state and back to our waking state. We want to bring some of these experiences, this mindset that we've created back out with us. And to do that, let's just notice the breath. Let's take a few quicker breaths when you're ready. Opening the eyes, a stretch, a shuffle, a drink, whatever you might need. And then as always, we've got a few minutes. If anyone wants to comment, ask any questions, share anything, please do. Let's just bring ourselves back to the waking state, bringing that grounded mindset with us, feeling that potential, that capacity, that strength we have to deal with the rest of this day and whatever else the week brings. Please do ask any questions, anything good. Oh, hi, Richard. Brilliant. Just nice to remember in the middle of the week. Yeah, there's a lot of things already happened, but we can still navigate the rest of the week fine. we've got the space to do that, but also remember the space and capacity to lean into any good moments that come to. It might feel at the moment that all we hear is bad news, and that can often be the case. But where we can look out for those small moments to lean into that we appreciate, that are positive for us, really helps to bring that balance to the day that we're looking for in modern mindfulness. Harps, pain in the back. Yeah, remember we've spoke about this when we're slowing down, particularly if we're looking for that capacity. The mind's habit is to fill that space very quickly. So if you do have a twinge of pain, some discomfort anywhere, certainly in the short term, it will try to invade that space. And our job is to accept it, to notice that it does that. And in the noticing and accepting, we can begin then to move beyond it too. Debbie, no problem. The recordings are there for you and anybody that wants to. So yeah, interesting. We're all going to learn some new skills, aren't we? Like how to clip the dog. I think we'll be doing that in a few weeks too. Yeah, good stuff. Katroni, thanks as always. Great. Well, wish you a great rest of the day. And we'll pick it up again tomorrow for anybody that wants to join in. Thanks, everybody, and take care of yourself. Bye.